Right now at noon, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau could be next on the DOGE chopping block, what the government agency is telling employees. Plus, riding the bus in Madison or Monona could be getting less complicated. How city leaders are preparing riders for changes moving forward. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Spreiter. First at noon, one person is in custody after what police call a high-risk vehicle contact overnight. This was on Horde Street near 6th Street, just south of Demetral Park. Police have not yet provided many details on what happened, but say Madison police deployed a K-9 unit, negotiators, and SWAT resources. After around 2.5 hours, Maple Bluff police took control of the scene and took one man into custody. This is still a developing story. You can find updates on channel3000.com. New Madison firefighters say 6 cars are damaged after a vehicle fire spread to 5 others. It happened Saturday morning in the Woodman's parking lot off Milwaukee Street. When firefighters got there, they saw the first car on fire with multiple cars parked around it. The fire was put out on the first car, which was considered total. Then the cars around it were minimally damaged. Nobody was in any of the cars. The driver of the first car said it had been running normally. Police say there appears to be nothing suspicious. Well, we're staying cold with some snow chances this week. First, our meteorologist Jacob Montesano has your certified most accurate forecast. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh. Right now, very bright out here, but we are going to see some clouds move in a little bit later in the afternoon. Looking at the current radar, we're not seeing anything in southern Wisconsin, but zooming further out, there are a few light snow showers just off to the west and also to the south, and they are expected to move in a little bit later tonight. Now, the snow is not expected until after sunset. And even when it does snow, it is going to be pretty light, and we're not expecting much of it. But during the evening and early overnight hours, we definitely could see some falling snow. Likely not going to produce any accumulation, but it could make roads slippery at times, especially for areas west of Madison. But not only will it start after sunset today, it will clear out before sunrise tomorrow, so this will mostly be overnight. And we'll start out cloudy for Tuesday, but we'll see sunny skies pretty quickly. Now, taking a look at the current temperature, it's definitely on the colder side, but also pretty close to normal for this time of the year, 20s across southern Wisconsin. And as we look at the highs for today, they're not going to change much more. We'll have highs in the middle to upper 20s, maybe lower 30s for a few locations. However, once we get into Wednesday, we have an alert day in the forecast. This is for all of southern Wisconsin for the possibility of accumulating snow. It does look like a good chunk of our area will see at least 3 inches, maybe a bit more. The best chance for accumulating snow will be the further south you're located, and this is for Wednesday into Wednesday night. But that's not the only alert day that's in the forecast. We have another one Friday into Saturday for, once again, accumulating snowfall. Now, how much we see for this one is still uncertain, but I'll talk more in detail about both alert days coming up a little bit later. But in general, we may be seeing more snow this week than we have the entire winter so far. So I'll have the details coming up.
All right, an active one ahead. Jacob, thank you. Looking ahead now, Madison Metro will be expanding its services into Monona next month. The cities are holding an information session at the Monona Public Library to help riders get familiar with the new system. That meeting will be held this Sunday night from 6:30 to 7:30. Attendees can expect to see staff from both Madison Metro and the Monona Transit Commission giving information about routes, key stops, and fares. Right now, investigators are working to find the cause of a fire that destroyed a mobile home on Madison's north side. Crews responded to the mobile home park off Packers Avenue near the airport Sunday morning. The trailer was covered in flames, which ended up making it a total loss. 5 residents and a dog were able to get out safely. One person was treated and released with minor injuries. We're told the fire does not appear to be suspicious. Happening today, President Trump says he plans to impose more tariffs. This would apply to all steel and aluminum imports. Trump making those remarks on Air Force One while flying to the Super Bowl. The president did not provide details or a timeline. Trump also says he plans to announce reciprocal tariffs later this week. These would be aimed at countries which have already started their own tariffs on U.S. products. The U.S. government's headquarters for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau are closing down this week. Bureau employees learned this weekend that the headquarters will not be open this week. They were also asked to work remotely, and employees were not told a reason why. The move comes days after Elon Musk tweeted out CFPB RIP with a tombstone emoji. The Bureau did not respond to a request for comment. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles are celebrating their second Lombardi Trophy in 8 seasons. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22 last night at the Superdome in New Orleans. The game got away from the Kansas City Chiefs in the second quarter. With a chance to pull within a score before halftime, Patrick Mahomes instead throws this interception, and Cooper DeJean takes it all the way back for the touchdown. The rookie out of Iowa made that play on his birthday. Still ahead for us this afternoon. If you have a question or concern about your plants or garden, now's the time to send us your questions via email to tips@channel3000.com. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will join us later in the broadcast with the answers. Again, that is tips@channel3000.com. But first at noon, why President Trump is taking aim at the U.S. penny. Plus, who came out on top in the weekend box office?
You're watching News 3 Now at noon. Moving forward.
President Donald Trump is taking aim at the U.S. penny in his quest to cut government spending. On social media overnight, the president wrote that he has instructed the Treasury Secretary to stop producing new pennies. A report from the U.S. Mint last year said the 1-cent penny, which is made of zinc with a copper overlay, actually costs more than 3 cents to make. Family-friendly Dog Man topped the weekend box office in North America, fetching nearly $14 million. Slasher comedy Hard Eyes toured to the second spot with more than $8 million. And action comedy Love Hurts took third with over $5 million. And after Super Bowl Sunday, there's Starbucks Monday. Today, the coffee chain is giving rewards members a free tall, hot, or iced coffee. Starbucks fans can redeem the coupon when ordering ahead on the app or present the coupon when ordering in person. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Carissa Lawson.
Here's the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is up 137 points, NASDAQ up 220, and the S&P 500 up 40. Pam Yankee has your farm numbers next, and Jacob's tracking the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, we go behind the wheel with Harvey Briggs.
But then you can also
Welcome back. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report. Did you stay up late for the Super Bowl last night, Pam?
Well, you know, I made it through about third quarter, and then
Same.
my eyes got pretty heavy. There wasn't as much action on the field as I expected. In fact, keep that thought, Josh, because there were a couple of the Super Bowl commercials that have Wisconsin connections. I'll share that with you in just a moment. First, I want to remind people that now is the time to renew your premise identification. If you're not sure what this is, by law in the state of Wisconsin, if you've got goats or pigs or chickens of any volume, not dogs or cats, you need to let the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture know where those animals are housed. It's part of the biosecurity measures to make sure that if something like avian influenza impacts some geography, that they can contact other animal owners in that area to make sure that biosecurity measures are put in place. Absolutely confidential, absolutely costs you nothing, but you are required by law, if you kind of fit any of these areas, to have a premise identification. Basically, you tell the Wisconsin Livestock Identification Consortium, which is an independent group, what animals you have, how many animals you've got, and where they live. That's it. Now, like I said, the reason I stress that the Wisconsin Livestock Identification Consortium holds this information is because that way nobody in the general public has access to it, animal rights groups or anything like that. So completely confidential, purely used to keep our animal biosecurities places in place and protect animals. So please do that as soon as you can. If you need more questions, just give them a call or feel free to reach out to them. Markets today in Chicago holding fairly firm on the midday. We were soft this morning. Again, keeping an eye on that March deadline when more tariffs will come into place. I will tell you, though, that dairy has found some exceptional activity. Of course, Super Bowl Sunday is kind of one of the last big blips on our screen to the positive side for dairy because of all the consumption of cheese dips as well as those pizzas that drove sales. Barrel cheese was up 3.5 at 181.5 today. 40-pound block cheese was up 4.25 at $1.90 1/4. AA butter, that did stand still at $2.38 a pound. So, Josh, in case you missed it, there were 2 commercials that had Wisconsin connections. The AI Gemini commercial that was focused on Wisconsin was downtown at Wisconsin Cheese Mark, where Ken McNulty was focused in on Wisconsin cheese labels. So that was one of them. The other one is the little farmer, the little girl that planted a potato and then harvested her own potatoes. That actually was inspired by Jeremy Pavelski, a potato producer up by Plainfield, Wisconsin, and his daughter at Heartland Farms. So if you haven't had a chance to see those 2, you might want to rewind it on the internet and take a look. The little farmer, again, Jeremy Pavelski and his daughter kind of used as the model, and I think they actually shot that one at his farm up in central Wisconsin. But like I said, those are the 2 I could find for you with Wisconsin connections.
Yeah, the potato one, that was super cute. I was just like paying attention to that whole one. I love to see that local connection too.
Kids and animals, that's what they like, and it seemed to perform well yesterday.
Yeah, and starting them young, that's always good, especially in the farmer world, right? All right, Pam, good to have you. Have a wonderful afternoon.
See ya.
Time now for your certified most accurate forecast with first warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano. We've got alert days to talk about, Jacob.
Yeah, we have a good amount of snow expected this week, several chances. Our first one is actually tonight, but tonight's snow will be very light, and then we're expecting snow most of Wednesday into Wednesday night, and then another round of snow Friday, especially later in the day Friday and into Saturday. Now there's an alert day for the second and third bullet points. Looking at the alert day for Wednesday, right now we're calling for at least 3 inches of snow for much of our area, but we may see more than that. This is for all of southern Wisconsin. The further north you are, the less snow you will see, but still expecting to see some accumulation up there. And again, Wednesday into Wednesday night. So let's take a look at the forecast. Once again, tonight's snow just going to be in the form of some very light snow showers. Could see up to a ½ inch of snow, especially areas west of Madison, but beyond that, this will not be a big issue. Could make roads slippery, but overall, not going to be too impactful. We'll then see clear skies once again by Tuesday afternoon. Clouds will increase Tuesday night. Could start to see some of those snow showers begin Tuesday night, but once we get into the morning hours Wednesday, that's when the consistent snow will move into our area. And then once we get to the late morning and afternoon, we may see consistent snow for just about everybody. This is going to continue through the evening. Wednesday morning or Wednesday evening commute could be very treacherous because this looks like when the snow will be the heaviest, and it also will likely be snowing for a few hours before that, so there probably will already be some snow on the ground. Now, once we get a little bit later into the evening, the snow will start to break up a little bit. Could see some lingering snow showers overnight, but a lot of it will clear out by around midnight Wednesday night, and then will be dry by Thursday morning. So right now, we're expecting around 3 to 6 inches for Madison and surrounding areas, about 1 to 3 further north. But again, these numbers can still change. Do want to point out that further south in northern Illinois, possibly over 6 inches. And if that does creep up into our area, we may start to see some of those 6-inch range snowfall totals for our area. So again, we're definitely expecting some accumulation, but this, again, the numbers and the track of the storms could still change just a little bit. Now, before I talk about the one later in the week, I do want to point out that we're going to continue to see cold temperatures. This is tomorrow morning. Wind chills expect to be below 0, possibly in the negative teens further north, and not as cold for Wednesday morning, but still going to see wind chills drop below 0, and that'll be the case for Thursday morning as well. Once again, possibly in the negative teens further north and west. Now for Friday into Saturday, we have a second alert day. Now we're not really going to talk in detail about the accumulation numbers because there's a lot of uncertainty with this system still, but accumulation does look very likely at this point. Friday night into Saturday is the time frame for this system. Now let's take a look at the forecast for this. So starting Friday afternoon, it looks like it won't move into our area until a little bit later in the day, possibly not until after sunset, but then we're going to see consistent snow showers. Could see some breaks in the snow Friday night, but once we get to Saturday, we'll see more consistent snow. And right now the track does show that once again we'll see the most snow the further south you're located, but still could see some of that accumulation in the northern portion of our area, and that looks to clear out kind of by Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening time frame. And once again, some accumulation is possible, but again, the numbers for Friday and Saturday are still very uncertain. But for Wednesday, 3 to 6 inches is a good bet right now, and it's going to last for much of the day. And like I mentioned, that Wednesday morning commute definitely could get treacherous. So if you can believe it, Josh, it's actually going to look like winter in southern Wisconsin. You know, we've had those cold temperatures, but we really haven't had snow. that may change this week.
Bring it. I'm ready.
Yeah, it won't take a lot for us to have our biggest snow of the season so far on Wednesday, though.
I can't remember the last time we've had enough to like cover the grass. Like, it's time. Plus, we need the moisture. It's so dry outside.
Yeah, we had one snow in like the middle of December that produced around 5 inches, but it felt like that kind of melted pretty quickly. I think right around Christmas is when it's pretty much was gone, and we haven't really had much on the ground since, but that is looking to change.
All right, Jacob. Thank you. Now let's see what Howard's preparing in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Over the years, we've made spaghetti every which way. We've served it topped with meatballs and sauce, tossed it with pesto, and even shaped it into a pie filled with ricotta cheese. Well, today, we're going all out with something new. A baked spaghetti cake that's brimming with crumbled sausage, Italian cheeses, and of course, spaghetti. Just watch how easy it is. We start by adding some ricotta and Parmesan cheese to a few beaten eggs, along with garlic powder, black pepper, and some spaghetti sauce. After that's mixed, we add some crumbled Italian sausage that we cooked with chopped green peppers and onions. Now, our spaghetti gets tossed in, and the whole thing goes into a springform pan before getting baked off. Right before it's done, we spoon more sauce over the top and sprinkle it with some shredded mozzarella, and back into the oven it goes until the cheese is melty. There you have it, a massive looking cake that'll satisfy any pasta lover. Maybe top each slice with a bit more sauce and let the feast begin. To get the recipe for what we call baked spaghetti cake, simply visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a spaghetti-licious way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Just ahead of noon, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. Email them to tips@channel3000.com. We have 0 questions right now, so we need your help. You have 3 minutes to email us those questions, and we'll get those answers when we come back. Welcome back. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. Remember, you can email us at tips@channel3000.com. Well, you guys really did the call to action after I called for those questions.
I know,
In
right?
3 minutes, we've gotten 6 questions.
And there was only one when we started.
I know.
Awesome.
So how are you, Lisa?
I'm good. How are you?
Valentine's Day week,
Yes.
which is crazy. We're already like halfway through February.
I know, that's nuts.
I know.
So we've got lots of really beautiful things at the store. Chocolate, beautiful flowers. So whether you got a Valentine or a Palentine, stop in.
There you go. This is kind of Valentine's-y too.
Yeah, this is a florist azalea, so not one that's hardy here, but they're really pretty and lots of buds, so it would be lovely in somebody's house and would bloom for a long time.
I love it. All right. Well, we got so many questions to get to. We're going to get right to it now. We're going to start with this first question. How can you get rid of stinging nettles in a garden bed? They said that they've tried pulling them out, burning them, grassweed killer, and they seem to come back even more.
Okay, so nettles are a broadleaf weed or a broadleaf plant. So if you put something that will kill any broadleaf, like Roundup or one of those kinds of products, it will kill everything that's in there. And a grass killer will not kill nettle because it's a broadleaf. So the best thing you can do is to pull them, but you could, if you got some Roundup and a pretty strong herbicide and a brush, you could cut the stems, and on that fresh cut, that's where you would spread that pesticide. And that will help you be really targeted with the pesticide without hurting the other things that are growing in there that you don't want to damage.
Oh, all right. Question number 2, Steve asks, when is the best time to prune his fruit trees?
Right now is a great time. So if we've got a nice weekend, fruit trees are best pruned when they're dormant, which would be now. You want to prune anything that's growing straight up, either from the base or on branches. You want to prune anything that's rubbing or damaged or broken.
All right, next question from Julie. Julie says she has an ash tree close to the house and no plants along the front foundation. It's mostly shady. Are there any shrubs that she can plant among the roots, and what are her options?
Well, sure. There are lots of things that will thrive in shady, drier conditions. Annabelle hydrangeas would be one. Of course, hostas. I have a big oak tree in my front yard, and it's all underplanted with hostas. And you can always just do mulch, and that would help clean it up and use and there are a number of low-growing ground covers that are great for shady spots.
All right, lots of good questions. We're
Yeah.
kind of getting into that springtime
We are.
here.
Everybody's once the Garden Expo is
yeah.
over, then everybody's ready for spring.
We're moving forward.
Moving forward.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Here's Jacob with a not-so-spring-like forecast. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, we're going to see very winter-like conditions this week, from the temperatures to the likelihood of snowfall. Highs will be struggling to get to 30. They'll be struggling to get to 20 for the middle of the week. And we also are expecting that snowfall, especially Wednesday. And then again, Friday into Saturday. We have 2 alert days in the forecast. That Friday, Saturday, that's the same alert day. Wednesday, I would say 3 to 6 inches is a good bet of snowfall. Friday into Saturday, the number is still a little uncertain, but accumulation does look likely. And then early next week, it's going to get even colder. Highs will be barely above 10 and lows will be below 0. So get ready for cold and snow going forward.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Thanks for joining us today at noon. Have a wonderful afternoon. We'll see you at 4.